Recently, I've had a lot of people ask me in the community about custom GPTs. They want to know what they are, how you go about making one, and which ones are actually super useful for recruiters. So in this video, I'm going to walk through what a custom GPT actually is, the biggest mistakes I see people make when they're building them, and how to create one that genuinely saves you time and stays on brand. So by the end of this, you should be able to make a GPT that actually works for you and not against you. So first of all, what exactly is a custom GPT? Well, I like to consider it as like your own personalised version of ChatGPT. So it's trained with your specific instructions, examples, your tone of voice, and you don't have to keep re-explaining stuff or re-explaining what you want every single time. You can teach it your brand guidelines, you can upload reference documents, and you can tell it exactly how you like to sound, how you like to come across. And it remembers all of that automatically. And essentially, it's like building your own AI assistant that already knows how you work. And for recruiters, this is incredible. And we can build all sorts of GPTs. We can have GPTs that help us like format CVs to a specific way that we want the CVs formatted. We can score prospects and write outreach sequences, again, specifically targeted for our target market. We can even use them to create content or draft LinkedIn posts for us. So once it's set up properly, it's like having a little mini team member that never forgets your preferences. So when it comes to creating the custom GPTs though, there's one key thing that I find that a lot of people get wrong or kind of come unstuck, and it's basically the way that the custom GPTs are set up. So if you go to GPT, and currently on the top right hand side is the create button, it then brings up two screens or two panels. On the left is where you build the custom GPT, and on the right is when you can preview and test it. And what I've noticed is that people start chatting on the right hand side like straight away, and they start testing the prompts before they've finished actually building it. And then when they make a change on the left, or they click away, they lose the whole conversation. So this is a preview chat. It doesn't get stored anywhere. So even if you make a really good prompt on this side and then you start testing it and it gives you super good answers, all of this stuff does not get saved. So if you do want to make sure that it's saved, you need to just copy that and put it into a document for later, because it's not going to get stored in your chat history. What I prefer to do, because I don't like living dangerously, is to actually create the prompt in ChatGPT itself, so making it as a chat. And quite a meta thing to do, but I like to ask ChatGPT how best to ask it to create a prompt or create a custom GPT. So if we take the CV formatting thing issue, I would say I would like to create a custom GPT that reformats CVs. I give it into a specific template. I have the template and examples. Please, can you write me a prompt that I can put in the custom GPT? Let's see what it gives us. So it says, to make it perfect, I just need a bit of info. Do you want the output to be a CV as text? Could you paste and describe your CV template? Do you want the model to preserve all content exactly? No rewriting, just reformatting, or also a light edit? Okay, so what I'm going to say is I want, number one, I want it as a Word doc. So number 2, I'm just going to put in a CV that I've got. I don't know if it's going to work because it's a PDF, but I'm hoping it will. So attached. And then I want to preserve all content. However, if there is any spelling, please flag first and then amend if I confirm to amend. Because basically I just want to make sure that I'm picking up on any of the spelling, because I would change that anyway. So let's say, perfect, thank you, I reviewed the attempt. Here's a ready to paste custom GPT system prompts. You can build your CV reformatter. Great. And let's have a look. You are a CV formatting assistant that reformats any CV into a professional Word document based on the provided template. Here's the template. Great. And then rules: always preserve all original content. If any spelling or grammatical issues are detected, list them clearly at the top. Great. Okay, so then what I would do is, and it's asking me here if there's anything else I want to do, but for now this is fine. I'm going to take this, copy it, go back to GPTs, press create. I'm going to put it in the left hand side. I'm going to enter that. And now look, it's updating the GPT. Okay, that's done. It's saying, like, I suggest that you call it that. And then if you just come over here, it's just inputted all of the instructions in here. It's automatically put some conversation starters in there that work. Doesn't seem to have changed any of that. What I would also do is just upload files for like good examples. So again, it understands what you want it to do. And then, yeah, I'm going to say, yes, please name it, because it's going to now want to give it a name and also a picture, which is fine, but it just adds a bit more time on. There we go. Let's create a profile picture. Great. Yes, just yes. Let's generate that. As you can see now, it's kind of starting to take form. And like, I could ask it stuff here, but again, like if I start talking to it, it's not going to remember it. So we don't want to be using this side at all, really. Okay, and then that took so long, then I just gave it its own picture. But anyway, then you press create in the top right hand corner again, and then I would just press update for now. You can do things like share it with people, but for now I just want to keep this one all to myself. Okay, so that's the main problem, or the main mistake I see people make. The next one is when people make quite a generic custom GPT, like they make one just for marketing, or for like a custom GPT that does various marketing things, like maybe it does comments, but then it also does posts. And I get it, it makes sense in theory to have something that does all of that stuff, but it works much better, or custom GPTs work best when they're designed for one specific task. So instead of creating that one big marketing GPT that tries to do everything, I would break it down into smaller ones. For example, I'd have one specifically for writing outreach sequences. I'd have another one for LinkedIn posts, and then like another one for creating newsletters, for example. Also, a way to get them all to sound very similar, like have the same tone of voice, is to create a simple brand guide document that has your tone of voice, your key messages, like what you want to say, what you don't want to say, those repetitive phrases that ChatGPT absolutely loves, like all of those things that are so annoying. We pop that in, and then we put that document in every single kind of marketing GPT as well, so that they are all sounding similar, but they understand the nuances of like the specific tasks that it has to do. Quick side note, sometimes I get asked what's the difference between projects. So down on the left hand side you've got projects here. What's the difference between projects and custom GPTs? I find a lot of people have tried projects and have done well with them, but haven't yet ventured into custom GPTs. Now, how I see them as is projects are more like campaigns. They have a very firm like start and end, whereas and they're more like for organisation as well. So if I, for example, was organising an event, all of my chats around that event I would put in one project folder. Whereas custom GPTs are more like tools. So they do that one thing really well forever. So we can keep continuously using it. And it will never like kind of change either. So projects, they kind of evolve as you chat with them. So again, with this events campaign, it gathers more information about that event, and it really takes on like all the things you're giving it. So you know it's got the email marketing campaign in there, it's got the itinerary, the agenda, but once that event has been done, you don't want to use that project for another event because it's going to start getting confused with all of the other stuff you've given it, like all of the previous event stuff. Whereas with a custom GPT, it always stays true to itself. It always keeps doing the task that it was meant to do, and it doesn't get confused the same with like the stuff that you've given it previously. Once we have created a ChatGPT, again, what I find some people do is they just set it and they forget about it. Now, that's fine, but the best custom GPTs are the ones that evolve with your feedback. So, for example, if your LinkedIn specific GPT, if you've got one that helps you with posting, it writes a post or you craft a post with it and it gets really good engagement, screenshot that, give it back to the custom GPT and tell it like why did it work so that it learns. If it misses the mark, maybe the post like just doesn't resonate with your target audience or it's off brand, like tell it that too. So you're effectively training your own AI assistant over time, and it gets better the more context and feedback you give it. And finally, I would just say if you're feeling overwhelmed, that's absolutely fine. My advice is just to start small. So write down all the repetitive things that take up your time, and then pick one that is both time consuming but also easy to explain. So the formatting CVs is a perfect example. It's repetitive, it's clear, and it's easy to test. Start there, get that working, and once you're comfortable with that, move on to more complex GPTs like creating content or outreach messages. So to recap, we've covered what custom GPT actually is, the biggest mistakes I see recruiters making when they're creating them, and how to build custom GPTs that actually save you time and stay true to your brand. If you found this useful, subscribe, like, come and join our community, and let me know in the comments what kind of custom GPT you're planning to build next. See you in the next one.